path to college, a path through high school, a path to success and achievement. It can be a difficult path to map out, let alone follow, even for students with all of the resources at their fingertips. But what about for students who don't even know where the path begins? For those who don't even recognize college as a possibility? Are there tools and techniques that can help all of these students better prepare themselves for college, regardless of their backgrounds? To help untold hundreds of students on their individual paths to college? Quest for College is an early college awareness board game that provides an excellent vehicle for discussion of the major issues students will face in preparing to apply to college. Suitable for play in the classroom or at home, Quest for College revolves around participants answering questions about topics relating to high school preparation for college, the college search and application process, and affordability and financial aid.
Within my work as a college admissions officer for an institution in Western Massachusetts, I've had the opportunity to meet with thousands of prospective college students. An early observation regarding college preparation moved me to take some action. In my recruitment travels, I noticed that private school students were head and shoulders above their public school counterparts in regards to early college awareness. What further interested me was that public school students from urban or metropolitan areas appeared to be better versed on the preparatory steps towards college than public school students from rural areas. As a former secondary school scholarship recipient from New York City through a program called ABC, A Better Chance, which is a program that identifies driven minority students and sends them to some of the top private and public high schools in the country. And as an associate director of admission and director of multicultural recruitment at Williams College, I know of hundreds of educational outreach programs that target students from large urban under-resourced areas, but I was pretty hard-pressed to name more than a handful of programs that target under-resourced students from small rural communities. These observations, along with my graduate studies' fascination with the use of games as a viable educational learning tool, spurred me to design and develop an early awareness board game initially focused on providing Berkshire County students, a predominantly rural county in western Massachusetts, an opportunity to stimulate thought and acquire some tools needed to compete with their private school and urban public school counterparts in the college admissions process. The game Quest for College was designed in 1999 to give students a glimpse at all the options afforded from higher education, and not narrowly a vehicle to get students into the most elite institutions in the country. Quest for College celebrates all higher educational institutions: community colleges, trade schools, state universities, private colleges. Quest for College has been administered to 8th and 9th graders in every public school in Berkshire County. The unique part of the game is that select college students from Williams College, well versed in the higher educational institutions in the county, administer the game to these students. Secondary school students learning about college from college students was the intended recipe for success.
The Quest for College game board reflects a typical path to college, with students building upon successes and overcoming obstacles en route to the ultimate goal of college acceptance. The terminology and concepts covered in Quest for College are those that Coleman, with nearly a decade of experience in college admissions, has identified as the most critically important for all 2- and 4-year college-bound students to master. The board game format establishes a lighthearted tone and makes students comfortable both to answer questions and to ask their own. Over the past 7 years, Quest for College has been played by a wide variety of students, in both high schools and junior highs, with educational outreach programs, and with families at the dinner table.
I've been a guidance counselor for 33 years, working primarily with college-bound students, as well as vocational too, but my main focus is the college-bound.
I've been counseling students for 9 years, and I've also been counseling adults in the private setting.
Some of the difficulties working with a college-bound teenagers are that sometimes they don't think they can go to college for a variety of reasons, whether it's financial or they think the grades aren't good enough.
Some of the difficulties in terms of being a guidance counselor, I think time, being able to meet with kids and parents, at least in the community that I'm in, it's very important to establish contacts with students and the parents, and a lot of times there's a number of different stressors in terms of the needs of the counselor. You have to help the student with the application, but then you also have to educate them in terms of the whole college admissions process, and time is really a big factor for us.
The game that we've used to introduce the youngsters to college is a game called Quest for College. First year we did the game, we did it with all of our 9th graders, and the students were very enthused about it. I was not sure what the reaction would be since they were so young and were not thinking about 4 years ahead at that time. But they related well to the idea of playing a game, and also to having college students come into the classroom and be with them, because the students were from all over the country, and I think there were even one or two international students who came as well. So our students had a very positive response. Several years later, when they were older, juniors and seniors, they'd say, "Oh yeah, I remember that."
In terms of the early college awareness, we use the college game for 9th grade students, and that's typically the first time that kids really get a formal educational piece from the guidance department. I think the Quest for College game is a very effective tool in terms of working with students, because it's a non-threatening type of activity that kids can use, and it's fun. You know, just the whole idea of sort of facing one another during the game and sort of working together to try and answer questions. I think it's very familiar for kids because they're used to playing, you know, games at home, and this makes it very non-threatening and non-stressful. My initial reaction in terms of the Quest for College was a positive one, because we didn't have anything formally in our curriculum set up which was as non-threatening as this to kids, as opposed to like a formal lecture format that, you know, we could provide for 9th graders. So I was really optimistic about it and positive, and in terms of working with other games similar to this in the counseling field when I was at UMass Amherst as a student, it was really great to see something like this come about, because I knew it would reach a lot of students. I think some of the misconceptions I run into with students is affordability is one of them. Looking at different colleges, and some colleges today might cost as much as $40,000 a year to go to, but some students don't realize that there are scholarships and financial aid programs out there that can make going to a college like that a reality. So I think, you know, part of the game is really helpful, is bringing that issue up and sort of letting them know that, you know, college can be affordable.
We've used the game in our English classes, and for the most part, and there have been a couple of different English teachers in 9th grade over the years, and they have been there to watch the students and to interact with them and to observe what has been happening as the game is played. And they have found it enlightening for them to see a different side of the students, as well as to maybe give their little input to our youngsters. So they thought it opened some minds, presented some information that otherwise might not have been received at that time.
In terms of the reactions from students and teachers regarding the game, I've only heard positive things from teachers, for example. regarding the game. From kids, I think it brings up the process early for them, and it gets them talking and thinking about it. And typically after the game, you're hearing much more conversations related to college after that, immediately following the game. I think the long-term benefit of a game like this is to definitely provide information that can help a student learn about the process early. And by doing that, it helps them to see that college is achievable, and it makes it less stressful for them as they're entering into their future years, so that they can prepare for what they need to do for the college process. So this is just one extra tool in the toolbox to help counselors and to help kids.
Some of the long-term benefits of the game are, again, if we can expose students to the concept of college at an early age, 9th grade, let's say. They're more apt in 10th grade to take the PSAT for the first time, to do it again in 11th, to start visiting early on, to have ideas about terminology that they might not have heard before. So it gets them, I think, a little bit energized maybe early on, and a little bit more familiar that it's not such a daunting task, particularly when they meet some college students who they did not know and hear some of their experiences, how the path led them to college, and where they're at now, what they're doing.
So I got involved with Quest for College as a freshman, and upon looking for opportunities during my January term on really interesting classes to choose from, when I came across Quest for College, I thought it would be an amazing experience to go back into the high school. I had just graduated and I had a lot of knowledge about my college process. And so being able to go back and talk to freshmen about the high school experience, what they can do early on, about being prepared, I thought it was amazing, because for a long time I didn't really know what the college process was until my junior year. For me, the epitome of Quest for College is having fun while learning about something very important, such as making your life decisions on what colleges you're going to go to. There hasn't been one time where I haven't gone into the classroom and students have not been excited. They've always had a very good time, and I've left knowing that they're filled with a lot of education and a lot of answers to questions that they may have pondered on and heard about but never really had the time to discuss it. So often students will come to me and say, thank you, this is really interesting, or my sister is going to go through this soon, and they're really excited and are looking forward to their high school experience because they know that there's so much coming, in the future. One of the biggest challenges for educators is how to teach a student while at the same time allowing them to enjoy the lessons. Educators are very fond of Quest for College because they see their students engaging in materials that's very important. It's providing them a lot of knowledge, and they're having fun while they're doing it. College was originated for rural high schools. However, upon my 4 years in administering Quest for College, I've been able to do it both in rural settings and urban settings. And I find that across the board, it really influences all ninth graders, because these are kids, regardless of what schools they're at, that can really benefit from this information. And many times, ninth graders, they're transitioning from middle school, and they're left out of the loop with all of the college talks and, the colleges coming in and providing information. But what more exciting is it to enter high school as a ninth grader and get, young college students coming in and talking to you about the college process and things you can do early on in high school to get, prepared and build a strong foundation. So definitely Quest for College is made for every high school student in order to just really allow them to explore their options and be more prepared by their junior and senior year.
I decided to take part in Quest for College because early college awareness is something that I've kind of become drawn to with my years here at Williams. Ninth grade is a very, very tricky time. When you walk into the classroom, sometimes it's so amazing how different groups of kids can be. Sometimes you walk into the class and you see these really eager faces who start asking you questions even before you get to introduce yourself, and that is awesome. And these kids, it's wonderful that this early college awareness workshop comes in the form of a game, because kids get to participate. I could imagine us lecturing there in front of them all day, but these kids are really eager to participate, because if you have the enthusiasm, all these kids, they think it's really cool too, and they want to take part. Taking part in this winter study class has been amazing in so many different ways. I got a lot out of it that I didn't expect to. I wanted to take this class so I can learn more about the community, and I definitely did that, not just from the classroom visits that we had, but from visiting other colleges in preparation to administer this game and talking to those different administrators. You just learn so much more about the community, and it gives you such a greater sense of where you are. Being in college in a small town can be a bubble. It can feel like living in a bubble sometimes, and by learning so much more about the area, you feel a lot more comfortable and a part of this place. And by interacting with the community, I definitely feel like Williams College more and more has become more like a home to me. And so I'm really grateful that this course has given me that as well. Working with kids, oh my gosh, I can't begin to explain how nervous I was before the first day we went there. Ninth grade, you hear horror stories, but the kids were wonderful, and it's definitely gotten me thinking about what I want to do in the future. I've always thought about teaching or working in education, and by just doing this game, seeing teachers interact with students, being a mini teacher myself, I guess, for 40 minutes, has given me a chance to see how well I interact with students, and that has been an amazing experience, and I've definitely become more interested in that, and I pursue that as a career path.
Today, the Quest for College game has been administered to secondary school students in various parts of the country. Rural and urban environments, and public, private, and parochial schools. The reaction and the perceived impact have been strongly positive across these settings. My vision is to have colleges and universities throughout the country take on the Quest for College Early Awareness Program and impact their respective secondary school communities. This will lead to a fruitful discourse with their students about how higher education in general can open the doors of opportunity to them.